I was at the barber shop this weekend and I was talking to the people that was in the barber shop, and I was talking to them about marriage uh, and about, just conflict resolution. And it's one of the things that I'm an advocate for marriage. I've been married at this time going on 18 years coming in August. And I know a little bit about conflict resolution. And, a lot of times, especially single people or newly married people, I was guys in there that was about to get married. Some people were just married, and they was asking questions, and we began to talk. Um, I think the best thing when it comes to marriage is learning how to have conflict resolution. The argument is good. You need the argument, but you got to know how to fight fair. You have to know how to not skate around the subject. You got to know how to face the situation head on without trying to hurt each other. You also need to find the way of giving conflict resolution without having a lot of emotional anger or emotional reaction involved, crying and yelling and or throwing things and um, you know slamming the doors and everything like that. There's a time when you have to process the situation and you're angry and you have to process it, but you always have to come back and have some kind of conflict resolution. You can't just let it linger there, because when you're on your silent treatment and you're not talking to each other, then I guarantee you that Satan is talking to both of you. So what you have to do, the Bible talks about, don't give place to the devil. And so, don't let the sun go down while you're angry. It doesn't simply mean that, the sun is going down, we got to hurry up and get this resolved. No, it just means don't carry that into the next day and things of that nature. But I think that, when you're in a relationship, any relationship that's worth fighting for, you have to be willing to fight for it, even if you're wrong. Sometimes you have to apologize, even when you're not the wrong person, just for the sake of clearing the air. She can say something or he can say something, because I don't believe in homosexual marriage. I just don't. I believe God made man and woman, and that is the God ordained marriage. So that's why I'm saying this for heterosexual marriage. Uh, but God made man and woman different, and so women, they process things differently. They may holler and shout and keep saying the same thing over and over again, whereas a man, he probably don't say a lot of stuff, but he's bottling it up until he kind of like explodes. But one of the things that I was telling them is, whenever you find yourself going there, and I'm speaking to the men, I guess, more, because I guess I've been a male all my life, is men, we probably can't keep up with women when they are talking and they're going in and they're, telling us, you need to say this, or sometimes, when we feel ourselves going there, the best thing I think a man should do is just take control of the situation by pausing it and say, hey, let's finish this at a certain time. Now, she's not, probably don't want to hear that at that time, because she got to get all that out for her chest or whatever. And then you come back and again and say, I hear you. Let's finish this at this certain time, after dinner or once the kids go to bed or anything like that. And, you know, they may still go around, they still, hollering, screaming, and talking stuff, and you have to kind of, one of you all got to take control of the situation and say, we're going to finish this at this time. That will give people time to reflect. That'll give them time to, come back with their thoughts. That'll give them time to calm down. So by the time, once the kids are going to bed or whatever, you can actually dish it out without hurting each other. Now, the argument is good because you have to jail together, but it's learning how to do the conflict resolution. And the Bible talks about that, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and he gave himself for her. And then he says that wives, respect your husbands. In other words, a man's way of loving his wife is actually showing love, because we don't really know how to love. We know how to respect, but we don't know how to love. And a woman's way of submitting to her husband is actually respect. So when you respect your husband, even though you can, probably say things and do things quicker than him, Sometimes it's a matter of just pulling back and just respecting him as the head. Even if he's not operating as the head, you have to kind of like sow where you want to go. But I don't know. I was just thinking of things like that, that there's always a way to resolve the conflict, and you have to discover the conflict resolution in your own life in order for you to have a successful marriage. And a successful marriage may take some time, but if you're willing to put in the work, then you'll have a pretty good marriage. Some people, they haven't argued or had big blowups in years because they learned how to pass a test with the conflict resolution, because yelling and screaming is not going to do it. You have to get to the bottom line.